All right, hey everybody, this is Parrish. Time for another Video Coach on Demand. Today's title, Chatter, Self-Regulation. Okay, we're going to talk about the chatter model, which we are learning more and more about mental pictures, words, flashing, and working from the emotional intelligence. Again, this is instruction, talking about the gooey stuff, yes, emotions, but we're trying to do it in an intelligent way. Looking at the movie clips today, For the Love of the Game, Costner, classic. I'll reference a couple of Beats commercials that are kind of cool, but boy, people really get upset about that. They think about the wrong thing, but I will reference those quickly. The videos that we've got, again, I'm really excited about because Costner does an excellent job. But let's look at what we're trying to achieve here, the lesson objective. Using emotional intelligence, the skill set. Again, we've been talking about this for a while. Here they are from Goldman. Self-awareness, self-regulation, self-motivation. The first three competencies are groups of skills that we use. We're talking about self-regulation and how we use chatter, right? How do we do self-control? How do we maintain standards of honesty, taking responsibility, finding flexibility for change? How we do all that with our chatter, okay? We know that chatter is words and mental pictures. But more importantly, how do we work these two skill sets or these two models successfully to achieve a goal or a task under pressure? And that's what we're talking about. And here's what you need to understand is you have external stimuli that we call sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. That's how we teach it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're at a corporate office, an industrial environment, or in the middle of a baseball game in pro sports or college sports. It doesn't matter where you're at. What we teach it is that you will have external stimuli that you need to be aware of and an internal voice. That's what we call the chatter. Okay? And you must contend with both. That's the bottom line. That's what top performers do. When they regulate their chatter, what they're doing is they're specifically putting words and mental pictures up there in their chatter, and they're doing it on demand and in the moment. And the way they're doing that, that's the key. That's what we want you to learn to develop, is they're blocking out the external and regulating the internal. Okay, they're getting both done. So let's look at this. This is the classic example here from Costner. Let me pull this one up here. Man, I'm excited about this one. It does an excellent job the way the director produced this. Now, we're going to start it off with the stimuli here, the external stimuli. Again, we're using baseball. Obviously, a lot of pressure and competition. Yours may be an industrial environment. Here are the hecklers. This is the external. Great way to appreciate. You have people yelling at you? All right, there's the horns, external environment, external stimuli. That's what we're talking about. See, when you're regulating, you're able to block all of that out. And the director does an excellent job here to kind of help us understand what this is all about. Give it just a second here. Again, what you're talking about are the words and the mental pictures. Actually, here we go.
Clear the mechanism.
Okay. So he used from his mental menu list, clear the mechanism.
Hello, Mike.
And you see how the sound went away, the sight gets blurred, and he focused right on the task, and he gets the strike. He achieves the objective. Okay? So, excellent way to illustrate, blocking out the external, whatever he was hearing, whatever he was seeing. We don't always get all the taste, touch, but you could get the smell, right? And at the inside, the internal voice, you remember what he said? It's classic. It goes to another study of ours when you talk about having your own mental menu list. Here it is.
Clear the mechanism.
Hear that? Clear the mechanism. And then that's when all that external stuff went away. See, so you need to have that. You need to understand these skill sets, all right? Here's what you now need to know. We're going to adhere to our adult learning model. That way you understand, because so many times we know some things, but yet we don't get the ability. And the reason is because we lack the skill set. So let's bust it out here. What you must know and understand is it's your chatter. It's your responsibility. Okay? You got to put the right words and the mental pictures in there. If you're going to be good at something, if you're going to be a top performer, that's what you're doing. We come over here to the tools that we use, my proprietary tools. And what we talk about here is free will and responsibility. Well, you talk about accepting what? Okay, break that down for me, PT. I'm going to say your chatter. That's where we're going to start. You're responsible for your chatter and putting the right words and the mental pictures in there when you're wanting to achieve something. All right? The other thing you must know and understand is chatter will get distracted. Stop struggling with it. Don't be immature over here and struggle with the basics and the fact that your mind is going to wander, it's going to ramble. You're going to have some crazy stuff pop up in there, and it's words and mental pictures. Okay? Put it back. Put it all back, and then go to your mental menu list like Costner just did. He pulled up his words, clear the mechanism. All right, the skills that you must use. You must develop these skill sets. The first one, again, we're going to the emotional intelligence. I mean, it's the very first one, self-aware. You start with your chatter. Start with your chatter. Be self-aware. Learn to monitor your chatter, the 86-4. That's the second agenda of the day. Basically, you're paying attention. You're paying attention to the words and the mental pictures. All right? And this is critical first step because you cannot regulate anything that you're not first aware of. So I'm asking you, again, the skill set that you're working on here to achieve when you're blocking out the external stimulus and regulating the internal. It's the same thing. You're going to be aware of what your chatter is, and then you're going to filter that chatter. And you're going to have predefined words and mental pictures for your task that you're trying to perform in that moment, just like Costner did. Okay? Here's what you must be able to do. Regulate your chatter on demand. On demand, because things are happening inside of you when these externals come in. All right? So you must be able to regulate your chatter on demand. And the whole key is to do it before, during, and after the hijack. And that's another lesson. Go Google another video, Coach on Demand. We'll talk to you about the hijack. But it is your threat, and it is associated with anxiety and all the things that come with a bad performance. Okay? So there's more to learn here. But just recognize that when it comes to you and your chatter and what you're regulating, okay, this is your breakdown. Here you go. Now your EWOD. Okay, this is your emotional workout. This is your hands-on exercise to take these good ideas out of the class and go do something. All right, so what you're going to do is a task analysis. Go Google it. You can learn more about what it means, but you're dealing with performance improvement strategies here. It's a detailed list of actions that you do. You know, what we're talking about is your mechanics. You know, it's what we're talking about again. Another word is what you see physically, what you see yourself doing physically. And you can even take a video of you performing the task, and then you're going to review it in writing. And this is what I call 3D. This is one of my development tips. Okay, a little secret here. Actually, I think I may have even pulled some of this stuff up for you over here. Yeah, I even pulled some of this up. You can go to the website, go to free content, and EWOD. And we actually have, the breakdown of the three-dimensional. And I teach you, it's short, it's sweet. You get right to the point of how to do a three-dimensional task analysis. And in regards to EQ, you're learning self-awareness, self-regulation, and self-motivation. So 1, 2, and 3. Your next challenge or EWOD would be to identify a younger person and start talking to them about taking responsibility for the chatter and regulating that. And that's when you start working into the social competencies and your leadership influence. All right? I hope this helps. Reg your chats, baby. That's the bottom line. This is PT signing off. God bless. Here's a quick reference to the Dr. Dre videos that we were talking about. Let me see if I can pull these up. Where are those at? There we go. 2 commercials here. Again, man, man, the crowd, the fans really get a lot of. I get a lot of feedback from these two. Which my only concern is that you're missing it. Okay, what we want to do here is we want to recognize not so much the irate fans, but let's start in the beginning here with this commercial where he talks about well, basically everybody's against you. You got your media, which we all know the influence of the media. So here you got an athlete, a top performing athlete. This is you. Getting ready for your big game, your big moment, your big pressure, and basically everybody is slamming you.
The hill. You're just going to have one shot here because I'm just not sure all that will click right out of the box for one big last hurrah for this group with the 2 older players.
Okay, so this is external stimuli. You're hearing this, right? Okay, so when you get more into it, it gets pretty vile. Right up in here. Okay. Again, I'm going to mute this. This is where people kind of get wiggy about how fans are acting. I don't want you to focus on the fans, okay? I want you to be that athlete. This is an empathy skill I'm asking you to get a hold of. You're that athlete, and you've got everything against you. These are external stimulants that are coming in. So they're going to affect your chatter. That's your internal voice, Okay? So what he does, this is classic right here. And this is what most athletes do, believe it or not. They find their music, find their zone. See, look, they got all this crap. Now listen, here we go. Da, da, da. All right, I didn't do that. All right. So I'm not gonna promo the video or hear anything like that, but what we're going to talk about is that it's an excellent example of the external pressures and how you got to learn to regulate. I mean, that's what he's doing here, baby. You got the same thing here. Go to the website. You can see these. You get the idea. All right? I hope this helps. Reg your chats, baby. That's the bottom line. This is PT signing off. God bless.